To move on to our next session now. As you can see, we're setting the stage. We're going to have another panel discussion. And we're going to discover AI, data, and the impact on talent, processes, and services next this morning. So with AI and data transforming our landscape, businesses are having to adopt a variety of solutions to stay ahead of the curve. And this session is going to explore how different businesses have implemented AI to drive efficiencies, experiences, and profitability. So I'd like to welcome, first of all, to the stage, Justin McGuire, co-founder MCG Talent. Thank you, Justin. So Justin is a recognised figure in the regional talent sector since 2008. Justin's professional journey has taken him across major world cities such as London, Dubai, Riyadh, Hong Kong, Singapore and Colombo. And his vision was to craft a bridge connecting discerning businesses with the brightest minds, especially in the bustling MENA and APAC regions. Today, with offices across these different regions, MCG Talent stands as a testament to Justin's commitment, becoming a trusted authority in communications, in marketing, creative and digital recruitment. And joining Justin, we have Daniel VACZI, Managing Director, UAE INTREN. Dan's been in digital marketing for nearly 17 years. He started his digital career in search engine optimization and paid search, and later added other disciplines such as mobile advertising, paid social, affiliate marketing, and display advertising. Dan's also got extensive experience in analytics, usability, conversion optimization, and accessibility testing. And through INTREN Group, Dan is deeply involved in immersive marketing technologies, ranging from augmented reality, 3D technologies, and AI, with a particular focus on conversational AI and digital humans. And next up to join the panel, we have GAYNELLE BRAUTIGAM, Head of Innovation Tactical. Thank you, GAYNELLE. The Head of Innovation at Tactical, she leads a dynamic, fully remote team spanning Dubai, Amsterdam and London, and together they bridge the gap between people and technology, crafting awe-inspiring experiences and driving impactful solutions for brands willing to pioneer in the vibrant Middle East market. And to moderate this session, ladies and gentlemen, if we could please welcome LEANNE Foy, Head of Awards at our Festival of Creativity. Thank you, LEANNE.
Morning, everyone. Are we still morning? Just about. So, talent, processes, and services. We could talk about this for hours, I'm sure. Justin, I'm going to start with you. So, as a recruitment consultant owner, there's two sides to the business that I want to talk about. One, when it comes to sourcing talent, and the other, when we were chatting earlier, you mentioned that AI has drastically changed your business operations. Can you tell us a bit about that and how you've done it?
Hello. Hello, everyone. Okay, so yeah, there's two parts to Leanne's question, and I'll go through first of all how AI systems and tools have impacted our business. First of all, it's just sped up the time that we can find a candidate. I mean, that is the main reason we've invested in the tools that we have. Is ultimately our clients pay us to find talent as quickly as possible, the best talent as quickly as possible. If they could take a magic pill and have the best candidate the next day, they would, but they can't, so they got to use us. So our job is to get them the talent as quickly as possible. So, you know, I've been looking or scouring the world for the best tools, the best systems that can get us good quality talent and can deliver that talent to our recruiters, who can then shortlist and select and give the personal touch. One thing I've done, though, fundamentally with the creation of systems and tools is to completely change our business. So going in about 3 years ago, we were 40 people, all pretty much sat in Dubai with a smattering in Asia. And then I decided to completely restructure the business and hire the best team remote. So we took a lot of headcount out of Dubai, and we now have staff in Bangladesh, Colombo, South Africa, Chennai, all around the world really. And these guys are operators of AI tools that we operate. So I don't just hire recruiters anymore. I hire systems integrators, marketeers, video specialists, data analytics specialists. So our business, when you look at the headcount, is completely different. We're a recruitment business that employs people, well, majority of people in our business now aren't actually recruiters. They're system specialists. So we've expanded internationally through our headcount and through our geography base, but we've also we're fewer people, and we use processes and tools to speed up how we find candidates.
That's really interesting, how you're doing that. But how do you ensure that you've got quality and personalization when you're working with your clients and candidate interactions?
Well, recruitment is a business where I don't think you're at the point now where you can take out the personal touch. I think when someone moves a job, it does involve the art of persuasion. It does involve dealing with a human being. It's a huge decision for many people. So we've just used AI tools to speed up the process, and we've sought out talent that can be the best operators of AI tools. I still think in recruitment, you have to have the personal touch.
I mean, I still think you need that personal touch in any industry that you're working in. And Shadi mentioned earlier, you know, keep the human in the room, keep that human interaction going. Biasness. How are you managing and addressing any potential biases that might occur when using any AI systems, when you're doing the screening process and generally that whole recruitment process? I know before having names on CVs has been something, taking genders off, but how are you doing that, integrating AI?
Yeah, I mean, I was part of an AI piece of technology that was acquired by a big software company in the UK. And still, even with that tool, we still had humans looking at the end of it. So we could remove the bias from CVs, we could remove the bias from language that a business was communicating, but we still had a human study the output at the end, because in some areas, actually, you know, particularly in the Middle East or Saudi, for example, you need to hire Saudis for most of the jobs. So you actually need to, you know, you need an element of bias to actually find the right candidate. So it depends on the process that you're running. But we still always, as a fail-safe, have a human. I think it's a bit like having a really good intern. AI tools, you know, you've got someone that can work super efficiently for you, can really help you out, can really speed things up, but you don't want to leave them to make the final decision, and that's kind of how we operate the tools now.
When looking at the clients that you have and the ever-changing roles that are evolving, how are you noticing the clients now in comparison to 12 months ago with the specifications of the roles that they're looking for changing with the increase of the AI trends that are happening at the moment?
We're not seeing a big impact in jobs being taken over by AI at all. In fact, we've probably seen our customer base and job base grow, because now our customers are looking for, much like how we've changed the people that we hire, they're looking for operators of tools. They're looking for people who are specialists. But we've also had new customers that have come onto our radar who are you know, AI consultancies and advisory firms that operate in that space, and there's lots of those that have been created. And to be honest with you, you can only really be an AI specialist and operator if you're 18 months old. So we've got these specialists appearing who are new businesses. And one of our clients, I went to meet them, and everyone in the office looked like they just got out of school, but they were all specialists, and it's fair enough. And I think that's what we've seen now is the creation actually of new opportunities rather than ones being removed, which is good to see.
Is AI going to replace me?
Pardon? What did you say?
Is AI replacing me? In my
no,
job?
you're okay, Leanne.
Thank
You're
God.
all right. Don't worry about that.
Daniel.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
What's your thoughts on AI replacing people in job roles?
I had a really interesting, good day, everyone. Really interesting question. I spoke to a guy last week, and his perspective was really interesting. He said he's using AI to reduce his working hours. Instead of working 8 hours a day, you might want to work smarter and just work 4 hours a day.
I
or
need to have a
3
chat with
hours a
him.
day.
Can you send him my way?
What I think everyone's using, probably you used to prepare your questions, you use ChatGPT or some sort
I
of
definitely
AI.
didn't use ChatGPT when doing this.
But it is a research tool. It's like not using Google, right, to inform yourself about a certain topic. So I don't think it's immediate threat. And also, when you introduce a technology to any business, there is an overlap phase. And we are there now, which means you're actually duplicating almost the work, because you need AI consultants and tech people to come in to optimize your processes, fit for AI, but at the same time you still have the old system or the essentially legacy system. So I think we are at the phase now where it's overlapping. In fact, we're duplicating the work now, but we're optimizing as we're going forward.
Yeah, and it's definitely around how we're optimizing this and moving forward, isn't it? Rather than, keeping that overlap. When we were chatting earlier, Daniel, you mentioned around the approach that you have to experiences is giving AI a face, a voice, and a personality. Can you share with us a little bit more detail around how your digital humans and your AI assistants are enhancing our customer interactions or your customer interactions with the projects that you're working on?
Yeah, essentially imagine when you're chatting with someone or sending a message or sending an email, it's a little bit impersonal, right? So we all know the AI assistant that sits on the web page, you can type in and you get the answer. But what if you give it a face? You give it a voice, you give it, whether it's a male or female, it can be a potato as well, doesn't matter, whatever represents your brand. But a dedicated page on your website that represents your brand becomes your super agent. It can talk in a dialect or any language you train, also can understand slang, also broken English or broken Arabic, doesn't matter. And that creates a little bit more seamless interaction and conversation. Also in the background, what we can do is, I think we talked about, or Harvey and your panel talked about as well, sentiment analysis as well, that happens in the background, so we can pick up nuances, whether the person is agitated or happy or angry, and we can tailor the AI to actually tailor the tone of voice, so we can address things in real time. And this is nothing new really. This happened before in big call centers as well. When you call them up and there's a voice command, you have to say, yes, I want to talk to this agent or that agent. They picked up your tone of voice in the background and they directed you to an agent that fits for you, fits your personality. Now we're doing the same as well with AI as well. When you start chatting with an AI, we can actually tailor the messaging to fit your mood or what you want to get out of the conversation. So I think this is what makes the whole experience smoother. And as I said, if you give it a face, give it a voice, that's a whole other level. And we can democratize AI, so it's not just in a chat window anymore. It can be on a screen. It can be here in this room as well with us. So don't just think about AI as something that sits on a website in a little chat window. We launched projects across Europe where we put AI in a big holobox. I'm not sure you're familiar with the holobox. It's a 3D screen essentially. So you can walk up to the holobox, you can wave at the camera picks up your face, and you can start communicating with the AI. It's pretty sophisticated. It now doesn't just read the voice input or the text input, it can read your facial expressions as well. So that's all, these are all data points that helps us optimize the journey.
Thank you. Following on from that, I've got kind of two questions that are struck in me right now. How are you managing your customer expectations? Like as a human, I know that I have quite high expectations. How are you managing that? Not necessarily my high expectations, but just in general, customer expectations.
Customer expectation, I think feedback loop is really extremely important. Customer expectation, we know that if 100 people started using the AI and then 40% of that, or 60% actually ask for an agent to talk to a real human, then we know that we're not meeting the expectation. So there are metrics we look at that allow us to optimize. And it's a new technology. It's not going to be 100%. It's not going to be like you and I. talking to each other, but we are getting there. We are aiming to actually become better and provide better experiences. But as you said, I think there are certain things that you can't replace. You still need a human person to solve problems, perhaps.
I also think there's a lot linked between expectations and facial expressions. I certainly know that at Christmas as a kid, if I opened a present that I didn't like, my face would say it all, even though I was saying, "Thanks, Mum, it's great." I'm thinking, what the hell is she giving me? So, facial expressions, tailoring messages. How are you navigating ethical concerns relating to privacy and data? And what measures have you got in place to protect users?
It's a very complex questions, and you guys started dealing with this in your talk. Ethical questions. I think apart from us or you as a business set up your own rules, how you treat your customers, we can only do so much. I think regulators need to come in and just like what happened with GDPR, and you guys covered that as well. You know, we need a similar regulation around AI and ethical use of AI. I think what's really important as well, you know, when it comes to using a lot of inputs to tailor the AI can then tailor the message. I think what's needed is a little clarification on what data points the AI used to make those suggestions. So allowing the person to actually ask, okay, you recommended me this or that product, based on what? And it's a very valid question, because then you can interrogate the AI, say, okay, well, I used your date of birth, your emotions, your XYZ data points, and this led me to the conclusion that you might like this product. And I think that gives a little bit of clarity how the AI works. And you know, it's not a black box anymore, but actually it's a little bit more transparent system. That's what I see, really, that it needs to be more transparent and needs to be almost honest about how it came to a conclusion.
What you put into it is what you get out of it, right?
Pardon?
What you put into it is what you're getting back out of it. It's like that continuous loop of feeding, what you're feeding that AI, you're getting back.
It's not just that as well, but I, as an end user or as a customer, I want to understand how the AI came to that conclusion based on what information, you know? So I think that's a valid ask from AI companies, that they allow us to actually see the source.
Daniel, thank you. Ganelle, welcome. Thank you. So Daniel's been talking to us about a super agent. Earlier on, you were talking around the importance of personalization enabled by AI. Can you give us some examples of what you're doing at Tactical to create a personalized process?
So we are mostly active in social media. I've been working in augmented reality for quite some time now. And one of the most novelty use cases that I can explain a little bit on is to do transforming your faces. For instance, we do a lot of AR for Snapchat, and what you see is that ML effects that transform your face into a crying face or a tongue sticking out or something unexpected, that like you see yourself being transformed into a completely different person right in front of your eyes. That is very captivating for people. And what we also see there is that it immediately impacts platform benchmarks as well. Anything using ML transformation, it outperforms any other experiences up to at least twice as much.
And with those experiences, how are you developing the needs and efficiency of your staff to be able to work on these emerging trends to meet client expectation?
I think a lot of it is just creating space for experiment. So my recruitment team kind of hates that I always want to hire super young people who are sometimes still in school, who are native to these type of things and who already are experimenting with it, and just creating a sandbox environment within the companies where they can try these different things, but also to connect people who are having different interests. So for instance, I had someone in my team who was looking into classification models and someone else who was using AI-powered photogrammetry to create 3D models, and yeah, bringing them together and creating something new creates a really unique new type of product, new type of ideas. So I would say it's about creating space, but also connecting different interests and talents.
Absolutely. Would you be able to give us some examples of how you're using AI to find the right tone and approach within your campaigns to drive efficiency?
I think within campaigns, obviously you have the whole analytics part of it, but initially within the creative, I would say it's mostly about getting the right input in. So as a super practical example, if you're copywriting, it's really important to prompt an LLM, for instance, in such a way that it really understands what the brand is, what it's like what are the latest social media trends, and at the same time, how are your competitors speaking to consumers? So I would say it's really about doing the research upfront, which is still very much reliant on our industry knowledge, and giving that specific input to the AI to generate better quality output.
Thank you. I'm being waved at over there. You're telling me I've got 5 minutes left? Thanks, guys. Okay, Justin, back to you. How do you see AI transforming roles rather than eliminating them? Actually, this is a question for all of you, but Justin, kick off.
I think when it comes to requirements that someone's going to have for the candidate, a key part of it now is going to be what systems and tools that they operate. I think we're seeing that come up more and more. And I just think, as I said before, I just think it's going to create more jobs. I think, I was actually just thinking, something I have noticed that AI has really changed in the recruitment landscape, and I'm not sure if this is a good thing or not, but there's lots of LinkedIn profiles out there now which aren't actually...
what, like mine?
Yeah. but
I've got someone else generating
well,
my
you've
content.
got someone where you've got an AI. Obviously, you think you're dealing with a real person, and you're not. You know, and that's. I've seen some companies, recruitment businesses, swell in numbers on LinkedIn when actually it's not actually their real headcount, which is quite interesting. But I've deviated somewhat there. I think you really are going to see just an adaptation of tools being ever more present, specific roles being created. People aren't getting replaced, and I think, as the previous gentleman said, just operators of tools are going to be the people that are going to replace those that don't adopt, and that's what we're seeing, and we've got the data to support that.
Just to clarify, I don't use AI for my LinkedIn posts. I do have support, but I don't use AI. Daniel, what do you think?
I think I don't want to repeat what the previous panel discussed, the doomsday or whatever. We are going to turn into robots or slaves of robots. And also, I agree what you said. There's no immediate threat. And I just want to say again, I think we can use AI really to have a better work-life balance, perhaps. We can look at it from that perspective as well. Work smarter, but not harder. Instead of doing a presentation over 3 days, you can do it over a day. So perhaps it's a good thing in mid-run to actually we can use it for us to be more effective and efficient at work.
GAYNELLE?
I think it can be a superpower. So I think AI gives you abilities that you normally don't really have. So for instance, now if I'm drafting a concept together, I can just generate the type of images that I would never be able to paint or draw with my very limited design skill sets. But Midjourney can create incredible concept art for me with just a click of a button. But I would even say that with more asking an AI for feedback, for instance, on how you write, or it's about acquiring new skill sets where you're like asking questions that go beyond the documentation that you can already read, that you can just ask ChatGPT, for example, like, why is this piece of code behaving in a certain way? Like, how could I do it differently? And you can have more of an organic learning type of conversation with AI. And I think especially that is super interesting, and it will give us the space to acquire new skill sets a lot easier than if you're just reliant on your own skill set, basically, or other people. Basically, this AI is there 24/7 to help you.
Thank you. I've got one last question. Panelists, you've got 1 minute each to answer this. What's the one thing that you wish you'd have done 12 months ago to improve talent, efficiencies, or processes within your business?
I wish I'd have hired a system integrator a lot sooner because we have various different tools and we were wasting a lot of time trying to work out how they could all be fused together, and we found a gentleman in Bangladesh who did what we were struggling to do in 4 months in 2 days. So I wish I'd have hired him a lot sooner.
Daniel?
12 months? I used AI 12 months ago, so maybe 2 years ago then. Honestly, really, I think what AI gave me is a different perspective because I have my set way of thinking and everyone else does. And then I input my thinking and then it sometimes contradicts me or gives me a different perspective or give me a different answer. So I think the ideation, it really helped me to actually open up and just explore really the topic rather than just going with my own mindset. Yeah, that's really helped me a lot.
GAYNELLE?
Within recruitment specifically or in general?
Just in general, talent, efficiencies, processes, in your business, what would you have done, or what do you wish you'd have done now 12 months ago?
I think it's mostly about how we leverage data, like making it accessible to everyone. I feel like on the one hand, we really try to be modern and embrace this new type of technology, but just the ability to have knowledge available to everyone and thinking more about how we structure data in our company, that's something that I would, in hindsight, invested more in.
Okay, so we've got hire a system integrator, ideation, and leveraging data. Justin, Daniel, GAYNELLE, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.